From the Opelka Studios in Oklahoma City, you're watching The Press Row. I'm Jenny Carlson. Barry Trammell joins us on the phone as the NBA playoffs have him traveling. And Barry, let's get right to our 5 and 5, 5 topics, about a minute each. Let's start with one question from the NBA, from those playoffs involving the Thunder and the Rockets. True or false? Patrick Beverley deserved the reception that he got. What about that, Barry? In Game 5, he was booed roundly throughout that game.
Well, I think he probably deserved it. Gives everybody, it's a nice release for the fans to be able to boo him. It didn't seem to bother him either. He got off to the slow start, but he seemed to fuel him in the second half. So, he's a little bit of plays with a little bit of an edge himself. So I think it was all good.
Well, you know what? I know a lot of people want to call that a dirty play, but it was not a dirty play. We've seen Thunder players do it, and it's just part of the game. Guys trying to get an unsuspecting player to potentially cough up a steal as they try to call timeout. It was unfortunate, no doubt about it, and I think the Rockets feel that it was unfortunate too. But and Barry, I'm curious. You've probably chimed in on this as well. Dirty or not? What do you think about that?
Well, I don't know if it's dirty, but I know this. Whether it's dirty, whether it's not, dozens and dozens and dozens of NBA players do it, almost on a nightly basis. So if there's something dirty about it, they need to change the rule. They need to implement a rule and outlaw it.
Yeah.
Until they outlaw it, then it's not against the rules, and I don't see how it could be called a dirty play.
All right, let's turn now to the NFL draft, which wrapped up over the weekend. Barry, not a lot of local guys taken, but in your mind, biggest NFL draft surprise for OU, who was it?
I think it'd be Landry Jones dropping all the way to fourth round. That's a guy that was talked about as a first-round pick a year ago. I know Tony Jefferson going undrafted was a stunner, but there are reasons for that. It's still sort of a mystery to me how Landry Jones could fall from a 1 to a 4 in the course of a single season, in which he actually played better.
Right. He did play better this last year and did go from an almost first-round slam dunk. But I still think, for me, the biggest draft day surprise, or the biggest draft surprise coming from OU was Lane Johnson, Barry, taken number 4 overall by the Philadelphia Eagles. Here's a guy that, we didn't see as a starter at the beginning of the year on Oklahoma's line, and now he's a top 5 draft pick. I think you said it before, Barry, had they waited a few more days to start the draft, he might have been the first guy taken. The way he was rising, just kept rising up the draft boards. An unbelievable turn of events to go from, a lanky junior college quarterback a few years ago to now the 4th pick taken in the NFL draft as an offensive lineman to those Philadelphia Eagles. To me, that was the biggest surprise. And we knew he was going to be taken highly, but still, to see him off the board with the 4th pick, huge surprise to me. Barry, what about OSU? What was their biggest NFL draft surprise?
Well, I think it was a little bit surprising to me that Quinn Sharp went so low. Mm-hmm. And I know he's a kicker. I know he's a punter. I think it's 6th round of the Bengals. But this is a guy who's unbelievably valuable in 3 ways: kicking, place kicking, kickoffs. This is a guy that just can produce with his leg. He's in some ways he's not a risk at all, because if you don't like him in one way, you're likely to like him in another. So I thought he might go earlier, and OSU's got the great kicking and punting tradition. So I thought we'd see Quinn Sharp go higher.
Yeah, that to me, Barry, I agree. The biggest surprise out of OSU was that Quinn Sharp was such a low priority for people. But I was also a little surprised with the way that Oklahoma State's offensive line has produced in recent years. That none of their offensive linemen got taken at all in the draft. Several signed as undrafted free agents, but I really wouldn't be surprised to see a guy like Lane Taylor make a squad. Those guys go largely unheralded at Oklahoma State, but they're rock solid every year. Joe Wickline produces great results out of those guys. Doesn't seem to matter who he's got, what turnover he's got, he still produces results. So I think there were 3 Oklahoma State offensive linemen who signed free agent contracts. I wouldn't be surprised to see at least one make a roster, and maybe more. I think, to me, the NFL has surely got to like what they see out of some of those guys when they get them into rookie camp. Barry, our fun question of the week. What did we used to do before we had a team in the NBA playoffs? It's May. I can't remember what we used to do before the Thunder made the playoffs.
Well, I did a lot of things. I had Mother's Day with my mother, and I picked up my granddaughter from. Well, actually, she wasn't in school yet, but we had lives. It's amazing how the NBA playoffs really sort of they sort of suck all your time away. I mean, it's end of April to if your team's really good into June, and so we saw it last week. I mean, I'm sorry, last year when the Thunder made the finals. It's just a time killer. So it's fun, it's exhilarating, everybody's excited, but man, and if you're just a fan, I mean, you're just, you watch the games every other night, seems like, and they're late at night, and your whole world starts revolving around a basketball team.
I totally agree, and I think two things come to mind when I think what we used to do, or what I used to do. I used to go to sleep a lot earlier because these 8:30 tip-offs, I mean, it takes a while to get used to them again, but here they are. You're getting used to sleep deprivation, getting up and getting to work, having to have an extra cup of coffee. So we slept more, but we also watched more, TV that wasn't NBA related. Remember when we didn't have to go to Hulu or some other DVR to watch stuff that was on TV? Now we're watching it all in tape delay because we've got basketball to watch, and it's not just the Thunder. There's all these other series that you got to keep an eye on too. So it's basketball wall to wall. It has changed our lives. Lastly, Barry, let's go back to the gridiron, talk about Justin Blackmon. Finish this sentence. After Blackmon suspended for the first 4 games of the season because of violating the NFL's substance abuse policy, finish this sentence, Barry. Justin Blackmon is.
Well, Justin Blackmon is in peril. His career is in peril. This is a guy that was drafted high despite some question marks, and the Jaguars took him, and then he had the major DUI arrest just a few weeks after the draft, and really put himself in a danger situation with his own organization. Now he's been banned for 4 games for substance abuse. This is a guy who's got a lot of talent. He'll keep getting a cancer tube past this, but he's not going to have a long rope. This is a guy that could be in danger of working himself out of the NFL. Yeah,
to me, Barry, Justin Blackmon is a sad story right now. I mean, I just have a hard time believing that. He's not going through this, and it's really a tough time. I mean, something is clearly amiss in his life. I mean, like you mentioned, had that big DUI. He said, I'm not gonna be messing with that stuff anymore. I'm gonna be on the straight and narrow. I'm gonna take care of business. And here he is, really less than a year later, having the same sort of issues. Really some problems, obviously, going on in his life. I don't know what they are. I don't know where they stem from. But clearly, this is a sad story, and it looks like it's only getting worse. If football is something that keeps him going, and it keeps going like this, football is going to be gone out of his life. Then where does his life go to? I think it's just a really unfortunate situation. People around Justin Blackmon have got to do their best to try to get this guy back on a good path, because right now it looks like he's on a really, really bad one. Hey, be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoma.